Oh yeah, is it Tuesday already? Has Star Wars Outlaws already released for the early people who got the gold edition? We'll be playing it tonight, but there are reviews out for this Star Wars Outlaws game. Also, crazy news about the upcoming Ahsoka series. Ahsoka Season 2 is on its way. The release date is not yet set, and it probably won't be out for at least another year. But some crazy new information just came out about a possible arc in Season 2, and some fans have translated stuff from the first season that is very telling of what could happen in Season 2. We got a lot to talk about today. Keanu Reeves coming to Star Wars? It's a lot. We're going to dive into all of it, but first things first, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine, it's Tuesday, right? Tuesday afternoon. What's up, everybody? Let me open up the chat so we can say hi to everybody first things first. Then we're going to read some of these reviews for this Star Wars Outlaws game. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it the open world Star Wars game that everybody's been hoping and dreaming for? Or is it yet another bummer? Because this last sort of week and a half-ish of Star Wars news has not been the greatest. From Boba Fett talking about, or Tamara Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, talking about not coming back for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, to the possibility of Din Djarin dying in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but that was just me, I guess. And, of course, the cancellation of the Acolyte, which we'll talk about a little bit today. But first things first, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Chris, what is up? Maggie, how we doing? Fearless in the house. Soul, what is up? Darth Raccoon, how we doing? Connor, what is up? Wookie Talks, how we doing? Brandon Baker in the house. Lowdown, how we doing? Ron Roy, what is up? Amanda, how we doing? Mando United in the house. KG, what is up? Starship 66. Wildcat, oh shit. Wildcat. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars, Wildcat. I appreciate that at the night level. I really do appreciate that. And yes, becoming a member is the best way to support the channel. We do have a giveaway today. Can't forget to mention that. We have a giveaway today as Star Wars Outlaws has been released. Or at least the standard version releases on Friday. But we are giving away 2 copies of Star Wars Outlaws later on in this stream. So if you are a member, you have instant access to that giveaway later on in this stream. We are giving away 2 copies of Star Wars Outlaws later in this stream. So now Wildcat has instant access into that giveaway. You have like a 1 in 70 something chance. Jedi Geek, what is up? Did I miss anybody? Thomas, what is up? Chris in the house. Seamus, what's up? If I miss you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. But let's give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this is going to be a really fun stream. I can't wait to talk about this Star Wars Outlaws game. I must admit, we do have a live stream later today where I'm going to be playing through Star Wars Outlaws. I already downloaded it. It's ready to go. I did play 5 minutes of it earlier today just to sort of see what was going on. Give my own little bit of a 5-minute review right off the bat to see like just the mechanics, what it looks like, all that stuff. So I did play it for 5 minutes, but we're going to start from the beginning later on when we have our stream tonight. So don't worry about that. We're going to play a full game run through of this game, open world, the story mode, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do that later on tonight in a different live stream, but I did play through the first 5 minutes of the game. And I must say, I'm excited. So we're going to read some other reviews, good and bad, and we're going to talk about where this game sort of ranks amongst the Star Wars games that have come out, because I don't think it's at the top, but it's not at the bottom either. So we'll talk about it. But first things first, how are you guys doing today? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? What time is the game streaming tonight? I'm not too sure yet. Might be like 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about 5 or 6 hours from right now, wherever you are in the world. 5 or 6 hours from right now. But I have not decided yet. Yeah. Dead Mike says, yo, Mike, some YouTuber, Mr. Rizzy Glizzy, wait, what? Is chopping your video and making you look bad, bro, for liking the Acolyte. Well, sucks to be him, I guess. I don't know. Does he really have to crap on other people to make him look good? Sad life he lives. Okay. Brandon Baker says, can't wait for the giveaway later on in the stream. Me either. Seamus says, so pumped for Star Wars Outlaws streams. I'm stuck playing a World of Warcraft expansion launch at the moment. Okay. Cool. Guys, at the beginning, got some balls killing at some bosses. Wait, what? Okay, let's dive into this. Let's dive into this reviews for Star Wars Outlaws, shall we? Now, before we do, I want to watch this final trailer that was a release launch event trailer. So let's watch this first. It's only 1.5 minutes long, and I believe we might have watched it already, but we're gonna watch it again. Okay, get us a little bit hyped up for Star Wars Outlaws, shall we? Before we read these reviews, let's do it. Let's watch this. Do you guys want to watch this trailer? Give me a 1 into the chat if you want to watch this trailer. Because guess what? We don't have to watch the trailer. We don't have to watch the trailer. And hang on. And while you do that, I'm going to put up a poll in the chat. If you haven't liked the frickin' stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. So go do that. But let's do this. Are you excited for Star Wars Outlaws? Yes or no? Are you excited for Star Wars Outlaws? We're going to leave that poll up there for a little bit. We're going to leave that poll up there for just a little. Okay, we'll watch the trailer. We'll watch the trailer, guys. Calm down. Calm down. Okay? Jeez. No need to yell. We'll watch the trailer. Jesus, guys. You got to take a... It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Chill out. All right, let's do it. Oh, volume would be nice now. Volume would be nice.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. This is your one shot. A safe filled with 157 million credits. And I can get
a lot
you
of credits.
inside.
Get in. How about getting out? This job, it's a death wish.
Your lives are over. Your family, friends, gone. There's nowhere in the galaxy you can hide.
You want to live? Get in with the underworld's most dangerous syndicates. And pull off the greatest heist the Outer Rim has ever seen.
I'm in.
I'm in. Okay, so that was the launch trailer that was released a few days ago. I'm in. I am fully in. If you guys don't know what this game is really about, it's about this main girl. She's a scoundrel, new character to Star Wars named Kay Vess. She's a brand new character. She's the main character. You play as her. She's got a little sidekick, little creature-looking thing named Nix. He's your little buddy who helps distract guards or steal stuff from people. He's pretty cool. But the main story is this big heist that you're going to do to steal 157 million credits, which is a lot of credits. And you're going to steal all those credits from this new syndicate that's on Canto Bight, I believe. There's some familiar planets like Canto Bight, like Tatooine in this game, but there's also some new ones. Actually, Kijimi's also in the game as well, but there's also some new ones as well. So let's read some reviews, shall we? We got a review from IGN, we got a review from Star Wars Newsnet, and we got a review from Star Wars Holocron. So let's start in reverse order, I guess, with Star Wars Holocron, because it's what I got pulled up here. So they give the pros and cons from their review, and then we could maybe read their full review as well. Let's read some reviews. So this comes from Star Wars Holocron. Here is their pros and cons for Star Wars Outlaws. The pros first. It's immersion into the criminal underworld of Star Wars, which everybody loves. Can never get enough underworld in Star Wars. It's what almost A New Hope feels like. It's the cantina on Tatooine. It's the hive of scum and villainy of Star Wars, and that's what people love. A lot of Clone Wars episodes are involved with that, with the bounty hunters, the scoundrels, the underworld of Coruscant, the underworld of Star Wars in general. It's Darth Maul being the leader of the Crimson Dawn. the Pike Syndicate, it's Book of Boba Fett, it's all this fun stuff. Excellent reputation game. So what this means is you can have a reputation with each individual syndicate or each individual person, really, in this game. So you can go work for Jabba the Hutt and be friends with Jabba the Hutt, or you can go stab Jabba in the back. But then when you're roaming around Tatooine, you're probably going to get beat up, or at least tried to get captured by Jabba the Hutt because you are enemies with Jabba the Hutt. So your reputation with each individual leader, or whatever you want to call it, is very, very cool. Yeah. Okay. Exploring a variety of beautiful worlds is a lot of fun. It's an open world Star Wars game. The first ever open world Star Wars game, meaning you can go explore Tatooine or Canto Bight or whatever planet you want, really. You can go explore it as long as you want. You don't even have to do a mission. You can just go explore and be in Star Wars. It's the most immersive Star Wars game to date that we've ever seen before. And that's the variety of beautiful worlds and a lot of fun. Also, strong story set between Episode 5 and Episode 6 fits in nicely with comics like The War of the Bounty Hunters. So this game does take place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's when this game takes place. So you see characters that are very familiar, like Han frozen in carbonite at Jabba's palace on Tatooine. You also see Jabba the Hutt. You're going to see Lando Calrissian. He's been in some of the trailers as well. You're going to see some familiar faces. Maybe, we'll talk about it in a minute, but maybe even Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or Leia Organa or maybe Chewbacca, or who knows. Some familiar faces because it takes place in that time period between Empire and Return of the Jedi. But it also fits nicely like the comics, like The War of the Bounty Hunters. So The War of the Bounty Hunters was a comic run that involved Boba Fett in his sort of mission to get Han frozen in carbonite to Jabba the Hutt. It was not a very simple mission. He got interfered by a lot of different people, from the Crimson Dawn and Kira from Solo to Luke, Leia, and Han. Or not Han. Luke and Leia, because Han was frozen in carbonite. So that was the comic series that kind of fit in between Episode 5 and 6 too. But the cons here are open world feels surprisingly linear at times. Now this means when you're in a mission, sort of, it feels like a closed mission. It feels like a Jedi Fallen Order or a Jedi Survivor type of mission. It doesn't really feel as open world as it should be, even though it technically is. It feels more linear than it should at times. And then conventional combat and stealth mechanics. This seems to be the biggest complaint that's been going around for the last couple days, and that is the stealth mechanics of this game. When you're sort of just crouched and hiding around and trying to sneak up on people, there's some bugs with the game, as most games do when they have a release date, especially Ubisoft games, where they have a lot of bugs on the release. So there's a lot of lagging through the floor or lagging through characters or whatever it may be that is causing for a lot of concern with a lot of fans. And the conventional combat is more so you're playing as Kay Vess. You're playing as a scoundrel, not a Jedi, not a Sith. So you're playing as a scoundrel. That means blasters. That means punching people. Doesn't mean using the Force. It doesn't mean having a lightsaber. It's not like the games we're used to, which is Battlefront games and Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, which is Jedi. So it's a little bit different with the combat. It's a conventional combat sort of game. So that is Star Wars Holocron's review. It's more on the positive side, less on the negative side. But then we have IGN's review, and this, I'm not going to lie to you guys, is an extremely long review. It's like pages on pages on pages on pages. So we're not going to read the entire thing. It still just keeps going. Like, look at this thing. This is insane. So they got the game clearly a few days early because they played through the whole thing. But yes, this is their score. It is a 7 out of 10, which is extremely high. 7 out of 10 is very, very high, especially with IGN scores. But let's read some of this really, really long review. Not all of it, but let's read some of it. Okay. As far as Star Wars video games go, we've taken countless turns at twirling lightsabers and unleashing flashy Force powers. But Star Wars Outlaws swaggers into a cantina, slicks down into a booth with a holster clip unbuttoned, and argues that those are no match for a good blaster at your side. The open world, or rather open worlds, it's not just one open world, it's many open worlds, action game features a level of gun battles and broken promises befitting the legend that is Chewbacca's best mate, Han Solo. So it's very much based off of a Han Solo-esque character. K-Vess is a Han Solo-esque character. Actually, let's take a look at this. So this is their sort of review. This is, of course, Cal Kestis and Jedi Survivor. That's Han Solo. I was hoping this was going to show some gameplay. What are we doing here? There you go. So this is kind of what the game looks like. It's a third-person type deal. Breaking into vaults, doing all this stuff, getting captured by people. It looks really good, especially for this is our bad guy here. I forget his name now already, but let's keep reading. However, Star Wars Outlaws essentially delivers a Han Solo-like experience in both good and bad ways. And it has some handsome-looking and some strong sense of adventure, but it also somewhat scruffy around the edges and is liable to let you down from time to time. This is the mechanics in the combat mechanics that we were talking about, the lagging and the going through walls and the falling through the floor and all that other stuff. But, of course, given that it's rollicking, space western story takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, the height of Imperial power. The actual Han Solo is literally on ice for the duration of Star Wars Outlaws. That's why you can't be playing as Han. He is frozen in carbonite. Instead, we step into the battered space boots of K-Vess, a cunning thief raised amidst the hive of scum and villainy in the gambling capital of Canto Bight. So that's where the game starts off. She lives her whole life on Canto Bight, and she wants to get off of there. She's quickly shown to be handy with her hairpin lockpick, and has an appetite for 5-finger discounts. Oh, okay. Interesting. Through a Dash Rendar or pre-Kyle Katarn before her, which is pretty interesting. These are fan-favorite characters we're talking about here. She never really steps out of Han's shadow and becomes more of a stand-in smuggler with a heart of gold. So she's kind of her own character. That's what it's saying here. These are screenshots from the game here. Take a look. This is Canto Bight. This is where the first mission sort of opens. This is the shooting mechanics. This is a weird-looking waterfall thing. Okay. Yeah, you can pick up different blasters and stuff. But let's go down to the final thing, because I'm not going to read this whole damn 10-page essay-looking thing. Let's go to their final thoughts. The verdict. Here we go. The verdict in this, they gave it a 7 out of 10. But here's their final verdict here. Here is the verdict. It's ironic that Kay's ship is called the Trailblazer, since there's actually not a whole lot of ideas in Star Wars Outlaws that haven't been done before in other action or open-world adventures. So it's not very groundbreaking or trailblazing in the world of video games. Instead, it's quite like a Millennium Falcon, a bucket of bolts held together by repurposed parts and prone to breaking down. So that's her ship. It's prone to breaking down. But at its best, it's more than capable of jolting your pleasure, into Star Wars fans' hyperspace. A clever syndicate system brings real weight to almost every task you choose to undertake, some of which have creative quests designs that can often conjure up some genuinely stunning blindsides. So the story itself is what they're talking about here, how good the actual story being told in an open world Star Wars game can be. It's not really story, yes, it is story driven, but you're supposed to sort of just veer off and do your own thing. Do side missions, do bounty hunting missions, do smuggling missions, go explore Tatooine, go explore Canto Bight, go explore go explore everything. Yes, there is a main story, but that's not the whole show. Yeah. Having a pal like Nix is pretty cool. He can pretty much do anything you want him to do. Go steal from people, go distract people. He's like the BD1 of this game, but he does even more than BD1 did in the Star Wars and the Jedi games. At your side the entire time, not only adds an extra dimension to Kay's fairly generic smuggling character, but also gives her an enhanced set of useful abilities. But even he can't quite make its stealth and combat feel any less rigid or repetitive. That's a big concern too. A lot of the stealth missions, you're just sort of crouching around, just trying to slowly walk around and do the same thing over and over again, and that seems to be the repetitiveness that people keep complaining about. And the odds of avoiding the many glaring technical issues presented at launch are 3,720 to 1. I don't get it. But you probably didn't want me to tell you those odds. That's true. So the glaring technical issues are a big problem too. You'll see that all across the internet right now because everybody loves to hate on things. But still, IGN gives it a 7 out of 10, which is an extremely high score for IGN, if I must say. But they're very limited thing here. It says Star Wars Outlaws is a fun intergalactic heist adventure with great exploration, but it hinders by simple stealth, repetitive combat, and a few too many bugs at launch, which a lot of people kind of thought was coming because it's a Ubisoft game, and people usually are quite aware of the bugs that Ubisoft has when they launch a game. Now, we do have one more review to get to here, but so far, seems so good. Even on the negative side, it's more of just bugs at launch, phasing through walls, going under, like, phasing through the floor, and just stealth being repetitive, which isn't the worst. There's been nothing bad said about the story, about K-Vess, about anything else that isn't just mechanic stuff, not stuff that's actually in-game. Oh, I guess it is in-game, but you know what I mean. The game itself, the story itself. Now let's read this last one. This last one coming from Star Wars Newsnet, and they review Star Wars Outlaws. It has glaring flaws that distract from its otherwise fun adventure. Oh, well, you guys can't see that. You guys can't see that, can you? That's much better. Okay. Much better. Much better. Okay. Following the success of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. The last Star Wars game to come out was Jedi Survivor. And I must say, Jedi Survivor is one of my favorite video games of all time. For a few reasons. Maybe the story isn't better than Fallen Order. You could argue one way or another. But it's the visuals and the combat that are so much better than Fallen Order that make it just amazing. You feel like you're in Star Wars. You're a Jedi in Star Wars. You are Cal Kestis. You're taking down Rancor. You're taking down bad guys. You're taking down everybody. Jedi Survivor looked visually stunning. It had sort of an open world feel, even though it wasn't. And it, of course, had the big twist of spoiler alert, Bode being the bad guy the whole time. Darth Vader fight was awesome versus Seer. It hit all the right spots for a Star Wars fan. It really hit all the right buttons, and it was amazing. So to come off the backs of that, which came out a year ago, to come off the backs of that game, this game has to be at a whole nother level to make up for it. It has to be at that same level, or else it's going to look worse than what came before. It's already just starting at a lower part because it's not about a Jedi, and people love to play as Jedis wielding lightsabers using the Force. It's very fun because you get to be in Star Wars being a Jedi. This is not that. So it's already starting at a lower level than Jedi Survivor, and it's got an uphill battle to maintain. So, following the success of Jedi Survivor, where do Star Wars games go from here? Publisher EA and developer Respawn Entertainment did an excellent job of capturing the essence of being a hunted down Jedi in the time of great turmoil. However, for some gamers, Jedi Survivor left an uncomfortable taste in people's mouths, as the game was plagued by glitches and performance issues. So this, I didn't have any. That's the problem. A lot of people had bad experiences with Jedi Survivor because of the glitches and the performance issues on PC or on PlayStation or on Xbox, wherever it was. I didn't get any of that. We streamed the entire story of Jedi Survivor, and I had no issues. None. The entire time. We streamed it for a few weeks, and I didn't have a single glitch. Nothing like lagged. Nothing got lost. Nothing happened. So I didn't have that issue, and that's kind of why I think more fondly of Jedi Survivor, but some people did have that issue, especially on PC, which is not where I played it. Yeah. But enter Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment with Star Wars Outlaws. Much like Star Wars The Jedi series, Ubisoft is also looking to capture the look and feel of being one of the series' most iconic archetypes, the smuggler, and that's K-Vess. Players will take control of a new character, K-Vess, a smuggler who is looking to make a name for herself. But it doesn't take long for Kay to start making enemies with all the wrong people. After stealing a ship named the Trailblazer, Kay soon racks up a bounty, attracting many of those who want to collect it. Okay, this is kind of spoiling some of the gameplay here. I don't want to spoil any of this here. I guess it doesn't really spoil much of the story itself, but it's from there where she meets Jalen. Jalen's going to be the guy who kind of like gives her this mission. Jalen, another shady smuggler who helps, there you go, offer Kay a job that will pay her enough money so that she can finally live a life that she dreamed for herself and her animal friend named Nix. Similar to Solo, a Star Wars story. So this is a big thing too. People who are fans of the Solo movie, of the sort of underground feel of Star Wars, are probably going to like this game a lot more than other people. Yeah. I tried to sign up to be a member, but for some reason, not like my... I don't know about that. I don't really know how that works. Can somebody help out Jedi Geek in the chat, please? But it's very similar to Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story. Star Wars Outlaws is a low-stakes, carefree adventure that might not gel with everyone. Because Solo was a great movie. It was just this sort of side adventure with Han and Chewie, and how they met, and how they met Lando, how they got the Millennium Falcon. It was just an origin story for Han Solo. It doesn't really affect anything else in the Star Wars story, just like this game doesn't really affect any events of the original trilogy, but it allows you to be injected into the original trilogy. Play as this character in an open world in a very cool time in Star Wars. Yeah. If you go into this expecting an emotional, dramatic story with new and interesting gameplay mechanics, you'll be sorely disappointed. But if you go into this just looking to have a good time, play freely inside the Star Wars galaxy, then you'll find yourself smiling from ear to ear constantly. And that's kind of what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. Go into the Star Wars galaxy and go into the open, vast worlds of Star Wars and just live there. Yes, the story's going to be cool, hopefully, but I'm more so just excited to go to the cantina on Tatooine, go to freaking punch Jabba the Hutt in the face and be like, what's up? And then just go to Salacious Crumb and just stomp him into the ground and be like, bitch, you know, where's my money, bitch? Any Breaking Bad fans in the chat? Any Breaking Bad fans in the chat? Okay, where was I? A ripe world with, okay, let's see how long this thing is, too. Never thought I'd be smuggling myself. Okay. Let's get to the end here. What's up with these really, really long things? Okay. So they gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Interesting. All right. Let's just read this last thing. I have no doubt that, much like the Jedi games, if and when Star Wars Outlaws gets a sequel, that the game will improve upon all the elements that make it stand out as a hit. As of now, Star Wars fans will still get a lot of the enjoyment out of this game. I did as well as Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft did an excellent job at capturing the joy of being a carefree space cowboy or cowgirl. But as a video game critic, Star Wars Outlaws just needs a few more new ideas and designs to overhauls to become a more enjoyable experience. So that's another very similar thing to what IGN was saying, where there's just not enough new ideas or designs coming in this game. It's a lot of same old that we've seen in other games before, just brought into the Star Wars galaxy. Yeah, but a 6.5 out of 10 from Star Wars Newsnet as well. They do talk about a possible sequel here, which is the first I've heard of that, which would be pretty cool. I don't know how many sequels you could really make about this game, especially because it takes place in between episode 5 and 6, and there's not that much time there. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe it's just a sequel with the character of Kay Vess. Maybe it takes place after the fact. The big question becomes, you got a character now of Cal Kestis who's a fan favorite, like he's become very quickly a fan favorite. If the same happens with Kay Vess, are these two characters going to show up in live action? Why not? The Mandoverse is the perfect spot to put both these characters, if Cal Kestis survives that long, if Kay Vess survives that long, I guess, too. But it seems like a no-brainer, especially Cal Kestis. But those are the four pretty big reviews that I wanted to go over first. It seems like, for the most part, people are on the way more positive side when it comes to this Star Wars Outlaws game than it is the negative side. Yes, you have the bugs and the performance issues of an opening release for a video game, just like Jedi Survivor had for many people. And it's a Ubisoft game, which tends to usually have opening release issues. But for the most part, it seems like it's a immersive Star Wars experience, an open world Star Wars experience in the coolest time you could possibly have a video game, in between episode 5 and episode 6 in the original trilogy, especially when you're doing an underworld game. It's the Pikes, the Crimson Dawn, the Hutts. It's all these different syndicates in the underworld where you get to go explore and fight for them or against them, while also running from the Empire. Nobody really mentioned the Empire much in these reviews. Again, we didn't read all of the reviews, but it's mostly about the crime syndicates. You don't really fight the Empire all that much from what we see in these reviews, at least. All right. By the way, 63% of you right now are excited for this game, which is pretty cool, with almost 100 votes in that poll too, which is pretty damn cool. So with those reviews being said, where are we at with this game? What do we think? Do we have high hopes going into tonight's live stream, or what? What do we think? What do we think? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did see that. I watched some gameplay. Oh yeah. Wookie Talk says the Star Wars was great. What are you talking about? Oh, the sequel trilogy was great, I think you mean. If you take away all the EU and preconceived notions about the original trilogy. I don't really know what you're saying. Oh, Officer Murdoch says, oh, today's a giveaway day? Nice. Does anyone know what the giveaway might be? Yes, 2 copies of Star Wars Outlaws. Later on in the stream, probably in about a half hour, 45 minutes-ish, we'll do the giveaway. But yeah, 2 copies of Star Wars Outlaws will be given away later on in the stream. Yeah. Dead Mike says, if they don't bring back the Acolyte, we riot. I don't know about riots, but a lot of fans will be pretty upset. Actually, I want to check something here. The Acolyte change.org. There's this Renew the Acolyte petition going around. Wow. And it has already hit 51,000 signatures. That's pretty crazy. So this only opened, what, 6 days ago? Something like that? Less than a week ago. And it's already got 51,000 signatures. So if you want the Acolyte to be renewed, I don't know how that is really going to affect anything. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If Lucasfilm sees that so many people want the Acolyte back, then maybe. But that's definitely, go to change.org, the Acolyte, something like that. Renew the Acolyte. Yeah. Yeah. I actually thought it was Kiara. No, it is Kiara. So we're going to see very familiar faces in this game. Lando Calrissian is confirmed. He is in one of the trailers, which is awesome. Lando Calrissian, where there's Lando, you could have Leia and Luke, because Empire Strikes Back ends with those 3 characters together. Kind of. Luke got his hand chopped off and he had to get a new hand. So it ends with them together, and then Lando and Chewie go blast off. But still, they were together at one point. So where there's Lando, there's the possibility of seeing Chewie, Luke, and Leia as well, which is pretty damn cool. But on the bad guy side, you're seeing Jabba the Hutt. You're also seeing Kiara or Kira from the Solo movie. If you don't know who I'm talking about, let me pull up a picture here. Star Wars Kira. This girl from Solo. She will be in the game. Oh, wow, that's a really close-up picture of her. Okay. She will be in the game as the leader of the Crimson Dawn. Where we last left her off, she was going to train with Darth Maul at the end of the Solo movie. So she goes to train with Darth Maul. Darth Maul goes on to die, and she becomes the leader of the Crimson Dawn with training from Darth Maul. She does not have the Force abilities that Darth Maul has, but she has training from Darth Maul. So she's going to be a pretty cool... Hopefully we get to see her use that training in this video game, but we will be seeing her. That's for damn sure. We know that for a fact. She is in the trailer. Yeah. So yeah, the return of Kira, which is pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. Harrison, what's up? Says, hey, Mike. And the people who love Star Wars, what's up?
Hello there.
Oh, yeah. Dead Mike says, this is a safe space from all the toxic Star Wars fans. I hope so. I hope so. I wonder how long we can keep it that way. But yes, that's what I tried to create here. That's what I'm trying to do here. I hate the word toxic, but sometimes it has to be said. Under the weather for the last couple of days, caught a bug. Oh no, Hal Runner Base. I hope you're feeling a lot better. And maybe you'll win Star Wars Outlaws today. You never know. You never know. I've been reading a lot of reviews today. Yeah, me too. And it seems as though the majority of them are really good. Now, you obviously have those people, those content creators online that only make money when they crap on Star Wars. So there's a lot of those that are crapping on Star Wars. But from the more reliable sources, we'll put it that way, the reliable, respectable sources, they are saying that this game is really good with a bunch of bugs as well. It's not the perfect release, that's for damn sure. If I were to guess where this game is going to rank for me, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Again, I haven't played it at all, just the first 5 minutes, and visually it looked really good. Story-wise, I don't know yet. I really have no clue. But if I were to guess, prediction, I'd probably say a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10, which is not nearly as high as I ranked Jedi Survivor, but I just don't think this game will be as good as Jedi Survivor. It has the open world aspect, but it doesn't have the lightsabers and Force aspect. Yeah. An open world Jedi game, on the other hand, that would be pretty sick. Yeah. Yeah. From the gameplay I've seen with the early access, I'm definitely keen in immersing myself in the Star Wars underworld. But still, a game I'll probably wait till it goes on sale. 110 Aussie dollars for any game is rough. Yeah, I mean, that's why we've already given away 1 copy of it. We're trying to give away 2 more today. If I can, I'll try to give away even more. Obviously, I want as many people to play this game as possible. I understand that it's a very high price point for the game. It's the base version, $70. It's insane. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best over here to get as many people as we can to get a free version of this game. Because, first of all, you guys support the channel, so give back to you guys. But it also looks really fun. It's just got that high price tag. Obviously, it has to have a high price tag because it's not like a multiplayer game that has a season pass. It does have a season pass, which is weird. I don't know how that works. But it's not a multiplayer game where you can sort of buy V-Bucks or whatever you want to call it. Like, it doesn't have that aspect to it. So it can't make money in any other way. It has to make money on the release only. Yeah. Kay says, I watched Star Wars Obsession play last night, and the only glitch I noticed was that Kay's eyes were super twitchy at some points. Well, there you go. Nyx is a cross between Stitch and Randall from Monsters, Inc., and I'm here for it. Stitch and Randall. Well, Randall's the bad guy in Monsters, Inc. now, the purple dude. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay. Jedi Geek says, I tried to sign up to be a member, but for some reason, not liking my PayPal, even though I have the funds. Can I send you the payment to sign? I don't think you can go through me. I don't know why it's not accepting your PayPal. I don't know. Keep trying, I guess. I really have no idea. Yeah. I want to play it to get my Nyx fix. That's hilarious. Okay. That's funny. Is there a way to sign up on mobile? Yes, there's a way to sign up on mobile. I don't know how, but there is. I love that they brought back the ISB in this series, in this game. Yeah, you're going to have the aspect of the underworld like we've talked about, but you're also going to have the Empire too. So you got Stormtroopers, you got the ISB, you got all this cool stuff in the same game because it's the coolest time period in Star Wars. That original trilogy time period is so cool. It's the height of the Empire. You got Vader, you got Palpatine, but it's also the height of the underworld with the Hutts, with all the syndicates, the Pikes, the Crimson Dawn. Like, you have all of them at their height because the Empire doesn't care about them. They don't care what they're doing, so they can do whatever they want. And that's kind of where we're at in the Star Wars timeline. Yeah. I'm not excited for this game because I cannot play it. Needs to be better computer. Wait, needs a better computer. Oh, need a better computer. That's what you're saying. Yeah, that is the bummer. You have to have the latest Xbox or PlayStation or the newest PC or whatever you want to call it to run this game. But that's kind of where we're getting to now. games have become so advanced, especially with an open world Star Wars game, that you need a lot to run it. I was actually really surprised when I downloaded this game because it's only 50 gigabytes. That's pretty small. I guess it's not really multiplayer, so doesn't need that big, but yeah. Yeah. I never got past season 1 of Breaking Bad. Oh, go watch it. Breaking Bad is one of my favorite non-Star Wars shows. It actually is my favorite non-Star Wars show. Yeah. $70. What happened to the $49.99? Well, yeah, so with the new generation of consoles, the price just went up again. It's because the price of making the games is so much more, and that they need to up the price of selling the games so that they can actually make money. Empire Films, what's up? I live near Albuquerque, but I've never seen Breaking Bad, LOL. What? You literally live in the location, you haven't seen the show yet? That's crazy. Star Wars Battlefront 2017 is still the best game there is so far, in my opinion. 2017? So that's the first one you're saying? I liked Battlefront 2. I think I like Battlefront 2 better. Battlefront 2 still holds up. Anybody in the chat play Battlefront 2 still? Anybody? Anybody? When are we going to talk about Keanu? Later. Yeah. We got to go to Ahsoka news first, because the Ahsoka stuff is got my mind blown. So I want to talk about that first. Yeah. Mike, hello. We want to hear about Keanu Reeves. Oh, we got to talk about Ahsoka first. Ahsoka first. I appreciate that, Kay. I really, really do. I'm not a gamer, but I'll watch you play. Yeah, there you go. If you don't have this game or want this game, I'm going to play through the entire thing. So you can watch me do it, if that's what you want. All right, should we move on to the Ahsoka stuff? The Ahsoka news is pretty damn cool. Do you want to move on to Ahsoka? All right, we'll move on to Ahsoka. Let me end this poll. Mace Cameron in the house. What's up, Mace Cameron? It's been a while.
Hello there.
All right. Okay. Ahsoka. By the way, 61% of you are excited. Okay, let's do this. Let's start up a poll. Do you think Abeloth... Oh, yeah. You heard that right. Do you think Abeloth will be in Ahsoka Season 2? Yes or no, you tell me in the chat, and then let's read this, shall we? So if you don't know who Abeloth is, that's sort of a whole nother conversation, I guess, for a whole nother time. She is the mother of the Mortis gods. So you have the Mortis gods, you have the father, the son, and the daughter, living embodiment of the light, living embodiment of the dark, and the balance between them being the father. Then you have the mother, who's Abeloth. She wasn't originally a god, but she got her powers from... It's a whole story, okay? We don't have enough time in this live stream to tell the whole story of Abeloth because she's just that cool, okay? I'm pretty sure I've made a full video about her history at some point on this channel, at some point. But Abeloth, the possibility of her showing up in Ahsoka Season 2 is very high because Ahsoka Season 1 ended with Baylan Skoll standing on the statue of the Mortis gods pointing out at a mountain with a glimmering light above the mountain where Abeloth could be imprisoned and Baylan could be going to free her from that prison. So, let's read this. Star Wars fans have finally, after an entire year, translated something from Ahsoka Season 1 that changes so much. So let's read this. This has come from Screen Rant. Ahsoka Episode 1, the first episode of Ahsoka, took us this much time to dissect this. Okay. Ahsoka Episode 1, Ruins, translated just in time for the show's anniversary, blowing Season 2 wide open. Just in time for Ahsoka's first season's 1-year anniversary, the ruins found in the Star Wars show have been translated by fans, with major clues for the series' second season. Featured in the ruins of the Night Sisters' stronghold, explored by the titular character Ahsoka Tano on the planet of Arcana, The ruins revealed a cryptic message. As such, the newly discovered tease carries some exciting implications for the next season of Ahsoka and the overarching plot of this show. So let's read this. So this is the ruins from the first episode. When Ahsoka goes to find the little orb thing that's the map. You remember what I'm talking about? It's the opening scene for Ahsoka in the series. And that's the ruins that we are talking about today. A series of ruins are featured throughout Ahsoka's episodes, in the end credit sequences as well. Derived from the fully translatable and canonical Sith tongue known as visually, the Sith tongue was inspired by the purely decorative glyphs found in original pieces of Star Wars concept art by Ralph McQuarrie. However, Ahsoka's runic alphabet features new variations, presumably due to the use by the ancient Night Sisters of Peridea. So, let's dissect that for a second. Sith writing is seen in Ahsoka Season 1, but it's not the same Sith writing that we've seen on Sith artifacts or in Star Wars in the past. It's different. It's a take off of Sith writing, and it's got a twist to it. It's almost like, how do we put this? It's almost like American English and British English, if that makes sense. There's differences in writing, there's differences in pronunciations, there's differences in all of it. It's the same language, it's English, but there's differences. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. This is both the Sith writing, but one's a variation that's created by the Night Sisters of Peridea, and another one is the actual Sith code, or the Sith writing, I should say. But I actually didn't know this. The Sith tongue is actually from Ralph McQuarrie drawings. That's pretty wild. I did not know that. Okay. Once fans learned how to read the new alphabet, Easter eggs were discovered, such as the name of all the planets in the pathway to Peridea in Ahsoka's end credits scene, as well as references to Kujet. This was a Zepho sage. Oh, it says it actually here. Never mind. On the walls of the Night Sisters Peridea's temple, a Zepho sage with ties to the Dathomiri Night Sisters. Long story short, Kujet was a Zepho leader. The Zepho are introduced in Jedi Fallen Order. He was a Zepho leader who controlled Dathomir. He controlled a few planets, but Dathomir was one of them. Dathomir is where the Night Sisters are from. So he controlled the Night Sisters of Dathomir for a while. He ruled over them, and then he eventually died, as most leaders do. He died, and they've made statues about him. They've made writing about him. And on Peridea, there was mention of Kujet, this Zepho sage. So, now, with that being said, the ruins from Arcana, which was the first opening premiere of Ahsoka, have been translated to reveal a riddle with exciting teases for Ahsoka Season 2. Okay. I'm losing my voice already in the stream. Okay. Here's the riddle, as it were. 3 there were who made the journey, without whose knowledge there is no return. A pathway connecting near and far across the heavens, star to star. Let's keep going. Despite great power, which do object, okay. This secret way for 3 protect. Heed the path with a watchful eye. For if you wander, you will die. So this is the ruins that we're talking about here. This is what they translated. This is where Ahsoka was. This is how she found the map. These were the 3 figures that they were talking about. So let's read this one more time because it's quite interesting. 3 there were who made the journey, without whose knowledge there is no return. A pathway connecting near and far across the heavens, star to star. Despite great power, which do object. Despite which power, which do. This secret way, the 3 protect. So heed the path with a watchful eye, for if you wander, you will die. So this last part of if you wander, you will die, Baylan Skoll mentions this in Ahsoka Season 1. This is the void. in between galaxies, there's this just never-ending space called the void, where there's nothing. There's no planets, there's no suns, there's no nothing. It's just ever darkness, the void. And you can get lost in there forever. If you fell out of hyperspace with the Purgle on your way to Peridia, you could get lost in there forever. So if you wander, you will die, most likely. But it talks about 3. A few times you see the word 3. 3 protecting it. 3 people going there. What is this talking about? What do you think these 3 things they're talking about are? The Mortis gods. Exactly. So let's keep reading, because this does talk about the Mortis gods. This new translation is very significant, as it does support several theories for Ahsoka Season 2, with particular references to the 3, perhaps tying into the final scenes of Ahsoka's finale. So this is what it has to talk about. The 3 are the key to Ahsoka Season 2. And this, of course, was the final scene of Ahsoka Season 1, with Bail and Skull standing on statues of the Mortis gods, looking off into the distance at a glimmering light. And these are the 3 they speak of. The Father, who's the living embodiment of the balance between the light and the dark. The Son, who's the living embodiment of the dark side. And the Daughter, who's the living embodiment of the light. Funny enough, the daughter's head is missing. Anybody know what's symbolic about that? Anybody know what's symbolic about that? Who is Mortis? Okay, let's give a little rundown on the Mortis gods. The Mortis gods were first introduced in the Clone Wars series, okay? Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan go to this Mortis place. They're teleported to this Mortis place. Mortis is a location, and the gods are just on Mortis. They're actually called the Ones. Bear with me. Okay, so these gods are the living embodiments of the Force. The light side is the daughter, the dark side is the son, and the Father is the balance between them. So this arc in the Clone Wars explains that Anakin is the chosen one, not to bring balance to the Force, it is to bring balance to the Force, but not to keep the Sith from returning, not to kill all the Jedi and bring balance to the Force. His real goal of being created was to take the role of the Father on Mortis and protect the Force, be the balance between the light and the dark, protect the darkness from taking over the light and the light from taking over the darkness. He was supposed to take the role of the Father. That didn't really work out, as pretty much all the Mortis gods died in that arc. The daughter dies to save Ahsoka, and that's what I was saying by what does this mean? The head is gone from the daughter because Ahsoka Tano is now the daughter. She is the living embodiment of the light side of the Force. Are you with me so far? So, Ahsoka dies in this Mortis arc, and Anakin brings her back to life by transferring the Force essence of the daughter into Ahsoka, making Ahsoka the living embodiment of the light side of the Force. That's why that owl, Morai, is following Ahsoka around all the time. This is like some of the real, like, hardcore Star Wars fan stuff that I just love. I can never get enough of these Mortis gods, and especially Ahsoka Tano and Anakin's connection to them. So, many people believed that in Ahsoka Season 1, when Anakin Skywalker appears to Ahsoka in the world between worlds, that is Anakin Skywalker fulfilling the role. He is now the father of the Mortis gods. He is now the living embodiment of the balance between the light and the dark, and he is protecting the Force itself. And when Ahsoka Tano eventually dies, she will take the role as the daughter, being the living embodiment of the light side of the Force. We don't really know who the bad guy would be, the dark side would be, but that is sort of the running fan theory. And now, with this translation talking about these 3 beings, the Ones, the Mortis gods, whatever you want to call them, this is really foreshadowing what's going to happen in Season 2 of Ahsoka, the story that's going to be told in Season 2 of Ahsoka. So let's keep reading. So, the 3 mentioned in the riddle could be referencing the 3 great mothers on Peridia who allied their night sister magic, with the imperial might of Grand Admiral Thrawn. However, it's more likely that the 3 are instead Star Wars's Mortis gods. Those massive monuments that were discovered by Bale and Skull at the end of Ahsoka's finale, celestial beings served as archetype representing the Force and its three aspects. The Mortis gods could be the ones possessing great knowledge who protect this secret way. Perhaps the world between worlds is what they're talking about, and its access to all space and time, which Ahsoka has visited on more than one occasion. She also went there in Star Wars Rebels because Ezra pulled her out. I'm just now realizing, if you guys haven't seen Rebels or haven't seen Clone Wars, how confusing what I must be saying right now must be. Yeah. Just try to bear with me. Try to follow along. So Ahsoka, when she goes to the world between worlds in the Ahsoka series, it's not the first time she's been there, because Ezra Bridger saved her life by pulling her into the world between worlds. Yes. Okay. Let's just keep going. Let's just push through, shall we? Likewise, the Riddle's threat of death on the path could be a tease that largely theorized Abeloth for Ahsoka Season 2, a force being of chaos and who was once a part of the Mortis God family in Star Wars Legends. Abeloth was locked away and could perhaps be released by Bale and Skull. At any rate, it's remarkable that Ahsoka seemingly had secret teases pointing to its future as early as the premiere episode. So let's talk about Ahsoka just in general, shall we? Ahsoka, Season 1, I still say to this day, is the single greatest season of any Star Wars live-action show, really any animation live-action show ever. Not only story from start to finish, getting to Peridia, the World Between Worlds stuff with Anakin, Grand Admiral Thrawn in live-action, Ezra in live-action, that stuff's great. But you have stuff like this. Stuff that hasn't been translated for a year. Things that were so detailed that a year later, we are now realizing how insanely intricate this Ahsoka Season 1 was, and setting up a second season. Because now you have the Mortis gods that we saw at the end of the show, but also references to the Mortis gods in ruins on these Night Sister old ancient carvings. It's all insane. It's all absolutely insane, but this is not the end of this, because there's a whole nother article that goes on about this, also coming from Screen Rant. 1 year later, new evidence supports the most exciting Ahsoka theory of all. New evidence from Ahsoka supports blah, blah, blah. We've already read this, so let's just keep going. So this is what we're talking about. This is what they've dissected. This is the riddle that we talked about, but this is what it has to go. On the surface, it can be assumed that the riddle is simply just about the pathway to Peridia. However, referencing to the three makes this translation message far more compelling, considering how Ahsoka's finale ended with Bale and Skull. Having left his apprentice, Shin Hati, Balin has abandoned his services to Morgan Elsbeth and Thrawn shortly after setting foot on Peridia. Having felt a presence calling out to him, Balin was seeking a greater power he believed that the Great Mothers were attempting to flee from. Let's not forget how incredible that these last 3 episodes of Ahsoka were. Thrawn and the Night Sisters were trying to leave Peridia to not only get back to the original Star Wars galaxy, but they're also running from something. They're running from something that they're so scared of, that clearly got rid of all of these Night Sisters that used to live on Peridia, that used to thrive on Peridia. There's something here that they're scared of, that they're running from. And Balin talks about sensing this presence and talking about this ending power struggle of light and dark, and how Thrawn might win, but that's a fleeting power. That's something that won't last. He's looking for something that will last forever. Abeloth. So, this led Skull to the 3 large statues at the end of Ahsoka, the very 3 that this new rhyme is likely referring to. The 3 are most likely the Mortis gods. This is them from the Clone Wars, and then this is them on the outside of the Jedi Temple on Lothal, where Ezra Bridger enters the World Between Worlds. That's Ezra Bridger right there in a Stormtrooper costume, where he enters the World Between Worlds, and that's where he saves Ahsoka Tano as well. Yes. Let's keep going. This is a lot. This is a lot of information. Okay, let's do this. The 3 statues seen in Ahsoka's finale are none other than the Mortis gods. Sential, blah, blah, blah. We already went over this. While the father had wanted Anakin Skywalker to take his place as the chosen one, events transpired where the daughter was inadvertently killed by the son, likely explaining why her Peridia statue in Ahsoka was damaged while the other ones remained intact. Like we said, her head is gone in these statues. Ahsoka herself also has key connections to the daughter, having been resurrected via her celestial power after the sun poisoned her and corrupted Tano. Excuse me. The most likely reason why the daughter's convoy owl, Morai, can always be seen watching over Ahsoka Tano, and that's because she put her Force Essence, or Anakin put her Force Essence into Ahsoka. Based on this new runic translation, the Mortis gods do seem like the most likely candidates for the 3 who possess great knowledge and serve as protectors of this secret way, perhaps to the world between worlds. However, the rhyme also points to a new danger, supporting the biggest theory of all, and that's the dark presence that's seemingly being called out to Balin, and that is Abeloth. Bear with me. There's only one power that could threaten them, Abeloth. While the 3 Mortis gods are part of the official Star Wars canon, there are parts of their history that were only told in novels that have since become a part of non-canon legends. So the backstory to these Mortis gods are not all canon. The Mortis gods themselves are canon, as they've been seen in the canon show, The Clone Wars, and Rebels, and in Ahsoka as well. But some aspects of their history are still just legends, and that is Abeloth as well, including the human woman who joined their family and became the mother. Fearing her own death and increasing age amidst her family of immortals, the mother drank from the forbidden font of power. Yes. And bathed in the pool of knowledge. And this is what gave her her crazy abilities. This corrupted the mother into an immortal being of chaos known as Abeloth, forcing the son and daughter to come together and lock her away. So she drowns herself pretty much in the pool of knowledge and the fountain of power, and then she becomes so powerful that the 3 Mortis gods have to imprison her on their home planet and leave. Yeah. Are you still with me? This all happens in Legends. So they imprison her and leave because she's so powerful that she will corrupt them and they will probably free her. Can I get some good cups follow orders in the chat, please? Jesus. I need some more water here. Bumpa. Okay. However, Abeloth would be freed every time the flow of the Force was altered, restarting the process over millennia where the son and daughter would work together to contain her once more. They said Anakin's refusal to replace the father, Anakin's refusal to replace the father and the daughter's death saw Abeloth eventually break out during the New Republic era in Legends. So, again, Legend stories, but Abeloth becomes free because the Mortis gods die in that Clone Wars arc. So she has the daughter's not there to go imprison her again. So she becomes freed and becomes a huge issue for our Star Wars heroes. Becoming a threat that was faced by Luke Skywalker, his Jedi students, and the lost tribe of the Sith, who came together to defeat Abeloth and save the universe from complete annihilation. To that end, perhaps Ahsoka is setting up a canon version of this, or an adaptation of this, of the original Legends story with Abeloth, also breaking out during the New Republic era. So Abeloth would be the most insanely powerful villain for a upcoming Mandoverse trilogy. Yes, Thrawn is a great heir to the Empire type deal, but what if the heroes, Luke, Leia, Han, Mando, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, all those people, they come together with Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Empire to fight against a greater threat? Abeloth. Let's keep reading. Abeloth certainly fits the bill as a true danger referenced in this new rhyme, assuming it is indeed about the three Mortis gods. She is the biggest and only true threat to the Force in its entirety, seeing as how she's capable of ending the entire universe itself, while still largely conjuncture for now. The setup in Ahsoka's finale with the Mortis gods, combined with the new translation, certainly does support all the Abeloth theories for Ahsoka Season 2, and Ahsoka Season 2 is currently in development. A release date has not yet been announced. Okay. So, that was a lot. A lot of information was just thrown our way. But, let me put it into the most basic terms I can. This translation of the ruin from Ahsoka Season 1 indicates that these three Mortis gods are protecting some big danger. And that danger is most likely the mother, Abeloth. And now that the Mortis gods are dead, Abeloth can be freed, and Baylan Skoll is going to be the one who frees her. And now Abeloth will become the most dangerous thing to ever exist. And she can destroy the entire galaxy because she's so powerful. And this will lead to a huge new threat in Star Wars that might allow for the heroes and the villains of Grand Admiral Thrawn and Luke, Leia, and Han to come together to fight against this threat. That's what we're looking at here. That's the possibility of what Ahsoka Season 2 can give us. That's the possibility that Ahsoka Season 1 opened the door to, with Baylan Skoll standing on the three Mortis gods, looking out at possibly Abeloth being imprisoned. So that is what we're talking about here. That could be the insanity that is coming our way from Star Wars lore. Not only a backstory for the Mortis gods and Abeloth, but also a future story with very, 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 very beloved characters of Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, Lando, all of them, coming together to fight against this massive threat of Abeloth, all taking place before the sequel trilogy. What do we think? My brain hurts right now. My brain actually hurts from all that. It's a lot. It's a lot. But what do we think? All right, let me check out what you're saying in the chat. I'm seeing a ton of chats fly past me, so let's do this. Cole Rita, what's up, says, it's interesting that Ahsoka and Baylan Skoll are not fully dark side and not fully light. Like previously, the son and the daughter were. They would both be grayish Jedi, pulling towards the light side or the dark, and they would be way more balanced. Yeah, that's true. Ahsoka, I would say, is a lot more light side, though. She's not a Jedi, but the Jedi were very corrupt by the time she leaves. Lee, what's up?
Hello there.
But by the time she leaves, the Jedi are very corrupt. So honestly, she becomes more of a light side user than anybody else. Yeah. I need like 10 seasons of the Ahsoka series. I would be totally down for that. I think they're doing a very good job with Ahsoka, because think about it this way. Ahsoka was so damn good, but you needed Mando Season 2 to, first of all, introduce Morgan Elsbeth, Corvus, Thrawn, Ahsoka, all that. You needed Mando Season 2 for that. Book of Boba Fett kind of helped with Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker, but you needed Rebels, you needed Clone Wars. It's decades in the making, this story being told right now in live action. It's decades in the making. So it's very intricate and it's very, very cool. But yes, I'd be fully down for 10 seasons of this show. Yeah. Yeah. Outlaws is fantastic so far. Nice. I believe the dark side embodiment of the sun would be Baylan. Maybe. I feel like he's not dark side enough. But maybe. I was thinking more like a Darth Maul, because Maul has the connection to Ahsoka, but he's always been dark side. Even when he's not a Sith Lord, he's still dark side. A lot of other dark side beings have been light side at some point, like Baylan was once a Jedi. You could argue like Kylo Ren or something, but he becomes he was a Jedi, he becomes a Jedi at the end. So I think the best bet is probably Darth Maul. Yeah. The problem is, I watched Ahsoka before I watched the Clone Wars and Rebels. You can do that and then just go watch Clone Wars and Rebels as like a prequel or a backstory to all that. But I would say watching that stuff first is probably going to make you appreciate or at least understand what's going on in Ahsoka a lot more. Yeah. Yeah. Unless the roles of the Force somehow change. Yeah, maybe. I'm lost, bro. It is a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you did get lost in that whole lost in translation, literally. No pun intended. But it is a lot with this whole Mortis God stuff. They've done a very good job of explaining it in the shows. So if you go back and watch the Clone Wars Mortis arc, it's a very, very well explained 3 episodes or 4 episodes, whatever it is, where they explain what the Mortis Gods are, who they are, how powerful they are, why Anakin is truly the chosen one. But Ahsoka hasn't really gotten to the point where it has to explain the Mortis Gods. It introduced them in statue form, but it hasn't gotten to the place where it has to describe them or at least explain them. And that's where season 2 comes around. And that's going to be a lot of explanation that needs to be had for those normie fans who haven't seen the Clone Wars or Rebels. And it'll be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the cliff statues are like that for a reason. The sun is no more. Oh, the sun is no more? I don't know what you mean. It is weird that the statues are kind of just pointing off to the prison, but I don't know. And don't forget that the portal in Rebels had the painting of the Mortis Gods too. Yeah, it did. So that was the entrance to the World Between Worlds as well. It's very interesting. What's really cool to me, or at least very interesting to me, is how Ahsoka enters the World Between Worlds in the Ahsoka series. Because Ezra enters it by going through the portal at the Jedi Temple on Lothal. Ahsoka enters it just by falling. Now you could be saying maybe Anakin pulled her in, because Ahsoka got pulled in by Ezra. So she didn't go through the portal, she just got pulled in by Ezra. So maybe Anakin pulled her in as well, saving her life. That's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. Interesting. This is why Ahsoka's that good. It has you a year later still speculating about what the hell's going on and how is this going to play out. Yeah. Harrison says, left field shutout for the Son incarnation could be Cal Kestis. With the power that he got towards the end of Survivor, I think in the next game you could explore a lot more of a dark side version of Cal Kestis. Interesting. Again, I feel like there's better options like a Darth Maul who's always been dark side, but yes, Cal Kestis does go down a very dark path at the end of Survivor, so maybe. Yeah. Ahsoka is the best live-action Star Wars show, period. I agree with that statement. I know not everybody agrees with that statement, but I definitely do. Yeah. Bale and Skull and Shin Hati are Skull and Hati are Norse mythology beings. Sol ate the sun and Hati ate the moon, plunging everything into an everlasting darkness. I think Balin could be trying to ruin the Force. I don't know if he's ruining the Force as much as bringing back Abeloth to ruin the entire galaxy. I don't know if Balin knows what he's after. I think he knows there's a lot of power where he's going. Or the possibility of power, I guess. I just don't know if he's being told the truth. I wonder if Abeloth is misleading him. Because Abeloth does not want to rule the galaxy. He wants to destroy it. So I don't know if Balin knows what he's getting into here. Yeah. I have Andor as the best live-action Star Wars show. Well, that's perfectly fine. That Andor's up there for me, too. It's definitely top 3 for me. Yeah. I can't wait for more Ezra Jabba Bridger. Me either. Me either. More witches? Yay. Star Wars witches are great. I don't know if that's sarcasm or not because of the whole Acolyte thing, but I love Star Wars witches. You can never get enough of the witches in the Clone Wars, in Rebels, in Jedi Survivor. I mean, come on. Come on. In my opinion, Ahsoka Season 2 is our Session 2 is our last hope for all Star Wars fans, and yes, including the toxic ones. I disagree. I know I made a very sort of down in the dumps video yesterday. Shout out to anybody who watched that. But it was the truth. It's the current state of the Star Wars fandom. It's an everlasting war, and it's getting only worse by the day. But I think, yes, Ahsoka Season 2 needs to be really good because it'll hopefully bring the Star Wars fandom back together a little bit. But the Mandalorian and Grogu movie has a lot riding on it. It's the first reintroduction to the movie theaters in 7 years. It's bringing back the character of Din and Grogu after Season 3 was very divisive. And it has the opportunity to start a new trilogy and started out in a very great way. But it being sort of overwhelmingly positive in the Star Wars fandom would be huge for hopefully remending all this divide in the Star Wars fandom. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted Morgan's sword to go with my 50 lightsabers. Morgan's sword in Ahsoka is really cool, yeah. You have 50 plus lightsabers? That's insane. Kay says, I think Balin wants to destroy the Force itself, thinking it would end the cycle for good. I think it will work. I don't think it will work, though. Yeah, whatever happens, Abeloth is not going to take over the galaxy. That's for damn sure. We know that the sequel trilogy happens, so it probably... she'll lose. But maybe that is what Balin's talking about. The ever-ending cycle of dark side and light side. Maybe he's talking about just Abeloth destroying all of it. That'd be pretty wild. Pretty damn wild. You cannot destroy the Force itself. You can't, but you could destroy the people who use it. What if in the final Mando movie showdown, everyone loses the ability to use the Force for a while? That would be kind of wild. That would be wild if she had the ability to shut off the Force. That would be insane. We've seen some creatures be able to do that, like the what's it called? Thrawn has it in Legends. It sits on his shoulder. It's like it's a lizard-looking thing. It has the ability to so that people can't use the Force on it. What the hell is that called? Oh my god. Somebody help me on the chat. The name is eluding me, but you know what I'm talking about. It's this lizard that sits on his shoulder, and it makes it so that the Force can't be used on him. It's called the Bob. Oh, thanks, Lee. That's very helpful. That's very helpful. Nobody has this for me? Come on, chat. Whatever. But there has been beings or creatures in the past that have had the ability of sort of shutting off the Force or stopping the Force. Yeah. So if Abeloth had that ability, that would be crazy. The Usalamari, yes. Or the Salamari. Salamari, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Yeah. Salamari. Indeed. That's what I was thinking. Harrison says, I also think that Balin's ultimate plan was to use the power he's looking for to destroy the Force itself, kind of like a Thanos-type mindset, doing it for the greater good, to try to stop this vicious cycle of power. That would be kind of interesting. He thinks it's the right thing to do. He did live through Order 66. So maybe he's like, this whole just loss and hatred between the Sith and the Jedi needs to stop. I'm going to stop it. Maybe that's his thought process. Possibly. I am your son is now a line that we need to hear in Star Wars. Oh my. Dr. Neko says they can go the whole dark side Luke route like they did in the Legends novel. They could do two different things here. Go to the Heir to the Empire route with having Thrawn be the main villain, bring in a possible evil version of Luke, a clone version of Luke Skywalker, and then have Thrawn just be the Heir to the Empire, be the main villain of a Mando trilogy. Or they could go the Abeloth route. have Thrawn be maybe the main villain of this Mando movie, maybe even the main villain of the second movie, but the third movie, they have to work with Thrawn. They have to work with their enemy to fight against a greater power, and that is Abeloth. That would be pretty damn cool. Yeah. That would be pretty damn cool. Harrison says, if Abeloth has been in Ezra's mind at all over his time stuck there, maybe he could be the son. Also, dabble with the dark side when he was with Maul. Yeah, maybe, but Ezra's too light side. He's too happy and joyful to be the son. But I wonder if Ezra does know about Abeloth. He was on Peridea for quite some time. 11 years? Maybe. Mike, what's your favorite all-time show from the Disney era? It's Ahsoka. Oh, animation too? Ooh, interesting. It might be Rebels. It might be Rebels. It's either that or Ahsoka. Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't there a lot of cosmic lines, etc., and three figures, etc., in the temple that Ahsoka found the map in that got blown up? Yes. And that's kind of what we're talking about. That was what was just deciphered. It's true. She had the owl too, protecting her, right? Yeah, that's Morai. That's the owl from the light side. Daughter. Sadler Family Vlogs, what's up, says, why are people still talking about the Acolyte now? I know it's just for clicks. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are still talking about it because it gets a lot of clicks. That's for damn sure. But it also got canceled last week, so it's still a pretty relevant topic. But for the most part, the Acolyte draws in a lot of negative attention to the Star Wars galaxy. Some positive, a lot of people do like the show, but it does draw a lot of a negative connotation when you talk about Star Wars. Just the conversation around the Acolyte show is more of a negative one. And that draws clicks. I mean, people who make a living off of just shitting on Star Wars love shitting on Star Wars, and the Acolyte is the perfect example of that. They can just do whatever they want, put the Acolyte in the title, crap on the Acolyte, and it'll make them a lot of money. Yeah. So that's sort of the issue we've come upon here. Hal Runner Base says, I never thought of that. I thought there was just a portal in the water or something, LOL. Yeah, no, when Ahsoka falls off the cliff, yeah, she didn't fall into the rocks below and there just happened to be a portal there. Somebody must have pulled her in, and it was most likely Anakin, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. Because the Acolyte Season 2 is coming out early 2025. I made it, I'm telling you. Yeah, no, that's definitely not happening. If the Acolyte Season 2 ever does happen, which I hope it does, it would not be in early 2025, and it probably would not be for a long time. Yeah. Grillfit Warrior says, just got here. What are we talking about? Well, right now we're talking about Ahsoka. We went over the Star Wars Outlaws reviews already, and we're going to start to talk about Keanu Reeves in a second, but we also got a giveaway to get to too. So I'll leave it up to you guys in the chat. What do you guys want to do first, the giveaway or Keanu Reeves stuff? What do we think? Fearless says, Anakin can now do what he always wanted to do and was the reason that he went to the dark side. He can save the one that he loves from dying. Yeah, that's sort of the gist of it. He wanted to save Padme from dying. That's what led him down to the dark side. But now that he died himself, he has the ability to do that. He has the ability to save the ones he loves from dying. Giveaway? Okay, we'll do the giveaway. Okay? Jesus. All right, we are giving away 2 copies of Star Wars Outlaws. So if you are a member, you get instant access to this giveaway. If you are not a member, becoming a member is the best way to support the channel. It's only 99 cents, the lowest tier. And then there's 2 more tiers above that. But if you want a chance at this giveaway, you can become a member right now. Steal it from any one of these members that already exist. It would be hilarious for you and me. Probably not for them, but it would be hilarious, and it would support the channel in the best way possible. Of course, super chats also support the channel quite a bit. You can ask me to do any sort of Star Wars impression. Probably won't be good, but it will be hopefully good. Yeah. I only need 1 copy, Mike. Thanks. 2 would just be a waste. Oh, okay. We'll see about that. Okay, let's do the giveaway then. Let's do the giveaway. You can just ignore the chuds. I hesitantly say that. I don't know what that means. Could be very bad. It saves your sanity. I'm hoping you mean like the haters with that word. I don't know what that word means, so we'll hopefully find out that it doesn't get me canceled. But the haters. Yeah, ignore the haters. Haters are always going to be there to hate. And if you want to live a very negative and sad life, then go just read some hater comments. Okay, let's do this. So how we do these giveaways is we have this wheel. We have this wheel, and we spin it. It's pretty epic. But in order to find out how many numbers are going to be on that wheel, we've got to find out how many members we got here. So if you're trying to become a member right now, I'll give you a nice couple, like, minute and a half here. But let's go to the members. We currently have 76 members. 76 members. 76 members. 76 members. And this is the list of our amazing members who support the channel. We'll take a look at this. Oops. These are you amazing members who support the channel every month. Absolutely amazing. Let's put this over here. So from top to bottom, all the way down here at the bottom, we got Finn Wickens. Finn Wickens is coming up on his 11th month badge. So is Cat's Paw, too. So Finn Wickens is number 1, all the way to the top, who would be Wildcats, who just joined at 76. So from top to bottom, 76 members. 76 members for 76K subs. Yeah, that's actually crazy. Never thought of that. That's crazy. Yeah, we just hit 76,000 subscribers. Could not thank you guys enough for that. But 76 members for 76,000 subs. That's crazy. Okay, let's see who wins the 2 copies. By the way, we're doing 2 spins. It's not just 1 spin to win 2 copies. It's 2 spins, 2 chances to win. 2 chances to win 1 copy of Star Wars Outlaws. Okay, so let's put in 76. Look at all those numbers. Then we're going to spin this wheel in just a second. I don't want to... Did anybody else join? If you're going to become a member, this is it. Final chance. Final chance. I'll refresh the chat. I'm going to refresh the chat. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. Spin that wheel. The tension is rising. Oh, right in the middle here. 54. Okay, let's see. Who is number 54? Should we start all the way from the bottom? Make the anticipation grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is Rose. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 is Mary. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 is Brandon. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 is Qui-Gon's Ghost. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, Razor T. 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, Dova. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, Thomas. 51, 52, 53, 54, Chris! 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 Chris is in the chat right now, if I do believe. Chris, shout out to Chris. You have won the first copy of Star Wars Outlaws in today's giveaway. Chris, hit me up on DMs on Instagram, on Twitter, on Discord, wherever you are at. Just hit me up so I can get this out to you as soon as possible, so you can be playing it as soon as possible. So, Chris, you have won this. Let me write this down so I don't forget who won. Let's see. Chris won the first one. All right, number 2. Let's get the second one out there. Congratulations to Chris. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Now let's spin it again. If it hits 54 again, Chris does not win 2 copies. We'll just spin it again, okay? Okay. Ready? Spin that wheel. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 46. Okay, we're just going to count down from Chris, shall we? Shall we? Let's do it that way. Okay, so where's Chris? Chris is right here. He's 54. That means 53, 52, 51, 50. What was the number? 46? Hang on, let me double check. 46. 50 was Thomas, right? Hang on. 4, 3, 2, 1, 50. 49. 48. 47 is Sonny. When I scroll down, the name after Sonny will be our winner. Darth Drafter! Congratulations, Darth Drafter. Let's celebrate a little bit, shall we? Wrong thing, hang on. Oh yeah, congratulations to Chris and Darth Drafter. Let me write down Darth Drafter so I don't forget. Drafter. Okay. So you guys hit me up on the DMs and I will get those out to you as soon as possible. Cool, 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 cool. All right, let's do this. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Where was I here? Chris says, ooh, me, I don't have a console. Well, Chris, you can do one of two things. One, go out and buy a console. Or two, you can give away your giveaway. You can give it away to somebody else, or we could do another spin if that's what you want. It's fully up to you, Chris. Fully up to you, Chris. Or you can just get the game and look at it. That's up to you. Okay. Mike, maybe spin it again and give my copy to another member. I don't have a console to play. Is that what you want, Chris? I will gladly do that. What do we think? Give it away again? Okay, we're going to spin again. We're going to spin again. Chris says spin again. And that we shall. All right, Chris. Chris has generously donated his giveaway because he does not have a console. So let's give it away to someone else. All right, let's pull up the list again. We are giving it away again. All right, here we go. You have a third chance to win this. Let's spin it. Spin that wheel. Chris the GOAT. Let's see it. Another high one. Oh my God, I almost hit 54 again. 56. Okay, so we're going 2 higher than Chris. 2 higher than Chris, right? Where's Chris? Where is Chris? Where is he? There he is. Chris, boom, boom. Jordan Rennie. Okay, let me write down Jordan. Cross out Chris. Jordan Rennie. Jordan Rennie is a master level. I appreciate it, Jordan. All right, let Jordan, if you're in the chat, I don't think you are, but Jordan and Darth Drafter, you guys got to hit me up. I'll get that out to you as soon as possible. Congratulations to you two. Huge shout out to Chris for being the very generous man that he is. Okay, cool. Third time's the charm. Oh, dang. Almost. Almost. Yeah. The bigger and bigger we get, the bigger and bigger these giveaways will be. So hopefully by the time the next Star Wars video game comes out, we'll be giving away like 10 copies instead of just the 2. But can't be just throwing all my money away. Can't be going broke on giveaways, sadly. But I appreciate it. All the member support is incredible. We love to give back to you guys at the end of every month. So every month ends with a giveaway. And today's giveaway is a little bit early. It's not the end of the month yet, but it's because this game is just coming out now. So I want to get it out to you guys. Yeah. 70-second time is a charm. There you go. There you go. Okay, so we went over the Ahsoka stuff. We went over. Okay, Keanu Reeves. Shall we? Keanu Reeves. Shall we? Alex, what's up? Alex, I'm still waiting for these designs you told me about. All right, let's Keanu Reeves. Yes, Keanu Reeves. Everybody on the Keanu Reeves bandwagon? Yes. Yes, maybe, yes, no. All right, guys, I must be honest. We're at the hour and a half mark. I usually like to go for 2 hours. I really have to pee right now. This cup is just too much. Will you all stay here and wait for me to come back? Yes? Yes? Here, I'll put this on the screen and tease you guys with this. Keanu Reeves has an open door at Lucasfilm after almost playing Master Soul in The Acolyte. I'll leave you guys with this teaser, and I'm going to go pee, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay? Do not leave. Or else, I guess, nothing. I'll be right back. I made it. I don't think I've sprinted that fast in my life. Okay. All right. Okay. What'd I miss? Boo. Oh my God. That's horrifying. Okay. I made it. Okay. Let's do this. Keanu Reeves. Let's pull this up. Pull this up before we read this article, shall we? I can hear him grunting. What did you say? Welcome back. Thank you. Okay, by the way, you guys, 86% of you guys think that Abeloth will be in Ahsoka Season 2, which is insane. Okay, let's do this. Do you want Keanu Reeves to be in Star Wars? Do you want Keanu Reeves to be in Star Wars? Yes or no? I'm hoping you all say yes, but depending on where this goes, we will see where it's going to be. Okay? Did I wash my hands? Yes, they're actually still kind of wet. I guess a little wet. The membership list changed from last month. Yeah, the membership list changed because people either renew their membership or don't renew their membership. You know? Let's see. Do you guys want Keanu Reeves to be in Star Wars? Yes or no? Let's see a chat. And if you do, tell me in the chat, who would he play? I know Darth Revan is the big one that everybody wants him to play, but is he too old? No offense to Keanu Reeves, but I believe he's 60. And if we want Darth Revan, we want to see him when he was a Jedi, as a younger guy like Anakin Skywalker. And Keanu Reeves can't really play a 18-year-old kid. I know he's a good actor, but I mean, I don't know about that one. Maybe he could play an older version of Revan. We could get like an old and young version at the same time. Or would he be a completely different character? What do we think? What do we think? All right, and let's read this article while you type that in the chat, shall we? Keanu Reeves has an open door at Lucasfilm after almost playing Master Soul in The Acolyte. We've learned a few things in the aftermath of the cancellation of The Acolyte last week. One of the big ones was that Keanu Reeves was one of the candidates to play Master Soul. And though it didn't work out scheduling-wise, the actor may come in for a future Star Wars, for a future in a different project. This comes from the reporter Jeff Snyder's Friday's newsletter, as he wrote that Keanu Reeves was very interested in the part and was actually maybe going to do it. And he would have been alongside of his co-star Carrie-Anne Moss. However, filming John Wick's spinoff, I didn't even know they made a John Wick spinoff. Okay. It was at the same time as shooting for The Acolyte, so it just didn't end up happening, and of course, Lee Jang-cha got the role. However, source at Lucasfilm stresses that the actor was never offered a part in the show, but that they are huge fans of his work. This is also reflected in Snyder's report, which said that Lucasfilm remains high on this actor whose interest has been noted internally. So the interest in getting Keanu Reeves to play a role, any role, in Star Wars is very, very high. That's what this is talking about. Finn Wolfhard should play a young Revan, in my opinion. That would be pretty good. Finn Wolfhard's... he's a great actor. He's the kid from Stranger Things. But yeah, the young Ben Solo is a good one too. Yeah. Okay, so this is Keanu Reeves, and that's Carrie-Anne Moss, who's in Master Indara in The Acolyte. Of course, little else is known about this for now. He has a few things lined up for the next few months, but there is no Star Wars production going up before the end of the year outside of The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is currently happening. So Keanu Reeves has been tied to The Acolyte for a while, with some rumors spreading online about him suiting up as Darth Revan, a character from the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, whom Reeves has been fan casted for years, whether accidentally or not. There was fire where there was smoke, apparently. So if you guys remember this, give me a 1 into the chat. Keanu Reeves was rumored to be in The Acolyte. We talked about this almost a year ago, about Keanu Reeves being in The Acolyte. We were like, could he be possibly Darth Revan in some sort of hologram or something like that? Do you guys remember this? When this this report came out like a year ago? Yeah. So it seems like those rumors were true to an extent. He wasn't going to play Darth Revan, but there was rumors that he was going to be attached to the Acolyte project in some sort of way, and that was the rumor that he was going to play Master Soul. So that rumor was actually true, it just wasn't what we thought it was going to be. And it never worked out because he had scheduling conflicts. The Acolyte will not return for a second season, we learned last week, for a detailed breakdown, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, yeah. There you go. Keanu Reeves is clearly up in the air to play some sort of role in his future Star Wars project. But now you ask, Mike, what future Star Wars project could you possibly be talking about? Because it seems as though there aren't many on the horizon. We got Skeleton Crew releasing on December 3rd. After that, Andor Season 2 is in early 2025. After that, it's the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Or maybe Ahsoka Season 2 before that. I don't really know. And then after that, there's nothing. There's no live action shows scheduled. There's no animated shows scheduled. There's nothing. Obviously, they just haven't been announced yet. Because it's Star Wars Celebration in Japan next year, there's probably going to be a slew of announcements that will be brand new projects, sequels to first seasons of projects. Who knows? There's going to be a lot of announcements coming at Star Wars Celebration next year, but there's more than just us speculating about that, because even more reports coming from Jeff Snyder himself again says that several unannounced Star Wars shows are currently in development at Lucasfilm. Several unannounced Star Wars shows, or Star Wars projects, I should say. It says shows, but it originally said projects, are currently in development at Lucasfilm. It doesn't say live action. It doesn't say animation. But what do you think this could possibly mean? What shows do you think are in the works currently over at Lucasfilm? I know for a fact this is an animated one. We talked about this a few months ago, actually, that there was Lucasfilm was hiring these animators for a new animation show, for a new Star Wars animation show over at Lucasfilm. That's definitely going to happen. So what that might be, we have no idea. Could be a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show. Could be a Clone Rebellion show. Could be a Hidden Path show with Asajj Ventress. Who knows? But there is going to be an animated show announced probably at Star Wars Celebration. But for live action shows, we have no idea. No clue. Think about it this way. The last two live action shows to be announced were Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte. You could argue, yes, of course, Ahsoka Season 2 and Andor Season 2, but those are Season 2s. Were Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte. Before they were announced, we had no idea these shows were coming. Skeleton Crew especially. This was a huge surprise. We had no idea that this even existed. So this could be the same case with this news right here. several unannounced Star Wars projects could be just stuff we have never thought about before. Nobody ever asked for an Andor show. Nobody ever asked for Skeleton Crew. Nobody ever asked for The Mandalorian. And yet we got it. And it's really, really good. Sometimes it's really, really, really good, like The Mandalorian or Andor. But we just didn't ask for it. And we didn't even know it was coming. So the possibility of these several unannounced Star Wars projects could be endless. They could be anything that we possibly could imagine. So my question to you is, what do you think it is? And do you think Keanu Reeves is going to be involved? That's a bigger question. We know for a fact that there are four Star Wars movies, on the way. The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Rey movie, Dawn of the Jedi, and Dave Filoni's Mando movie. Two are Mandos, one's a Rey movie, and one's 25,000 years before anything, at the Dawn of the Jedi. My personal preference for where Keanu Reeves fits into this equation would be a original Jedi in that Dawn of the Jedi movie. He could be sort of the older master type who could be the mentor of a brand new first generation of Jedi. He could be the guy who discovers the first lightsaber, creates the first lightsaber. Imagine that. That would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it'd be the perfect spot because you can now have a Dawn of the Jedi movie directed by James Mangold, who's an incredible director, starring Keanu Reeves in Star Wars. Talk about getting asses in seats. That would be amazing. Amazing. Absolutely crazy. But let's see what you guys think. Let's see what you guys want to see. Okay. Darth Neko says yes, but he wasn't able. He won't be unless the script is strong. His politics refuse. His polite refuse to say scheduling conflicts. I don't think so. He actually had scheduling conflicts for him. Mike, I have some Star Wars news. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Who cares, Mike? Revan wears a mask. That is true, but I mean, the mask can come off. If we know anything about masks, they come off. That's for damn sure. And Revan especially, you're going to want to see his face. Yes and no. He's pretty one-sided and a monotonic actor. He might fit the role. He might fit for a specific role, but not Revan. I don't know. I think he's a pretty good actor. Yes, he does play usually a one-sided role, like a John Wick or a Neo from The Matrix, but he does have more ability in acting than just those roles that he tends to get. Yeah. You ask the fandom of anything nerd-related or adjacent, they all say that Keanu Reeves being on the worlds they love. What? I don't know what that means. Oh, being in the worlds you love. You're like saying, I get you. Any fandom, not just Star Wars. I get you. A Sith Ewok. What the hell? What the hell are you talking about? Revan wears a mask, so it doesn't really matter if he's too old. Well, it does matter because he's too old. Plus, you're going to be getting years and decades and trillion years of Revan's story. Like, Revan's story is so long. It's almost like Anakin's story. From start to finish, it's his entire life being told. So, with Revan, you're going to need an actor who's going to be around for quite some time. Preferably a younger actor. No offense to Keanu Reeves at all. Yeah. Keanu as the first Jedi would be elite. It would. It would be absolutely insane. And it would please a lot of Star Wars fans. Like, that wouldn't anger probably... I can't even say that. I was going to say it couldn't anger anybody. Or it couldn't anger anybody, but it clearly could. But yeah, that could for sure. Yeah. What about playing the father in the game that there was two suns, light and dark? Is it the Force Unleashed? What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Emperor Vitiate? That is definitely not Force Unleashed, but maybe playing the father in that. Ooh, interesting. I look forward to Sonic 3. Oh, I did see the trailer for Sonic 3 today. That's pretty cool. Looks pretty good. Keanu Reeves for Acolyte Season 2. Well, that's if Acolyte Season 2 ever happens. Keanu as Yord's cousin who seeks revenge against Chimere in a beautiful Acolyte Season 2. Yeah. The rumors were true from a certain point of view. That is true. Leslie was going to cast Neo and Trinity in the Acolyte just to kill both of them off. That is true. That is true. It would have happened. What that Jedi show? You mean wait, what? Isn't it in 2026? 2027? Oh, you're talking about the Dawn of the Jedi? That's a movie. Dawn of the Jedi is going to be a movie. Yeah. Indeed. Vincent says, you guys are not understanding that Keanu Reeves is the A side of a side when it comes to casting and has been since The Matrix. He has been casted as the same role over and over again. That's for damn sure. But actors change it up all the time. That's the thing. Like, you could see actors who play a specific role all the time, and then they switch it up towards the end of their career, especially because that's when they want to change things up a whole lot. How's Chopper doing behind you? Haven't heard from him in a while. You know what? I had to shut off Chopper. He was talking too much, talking about too much war crimes he was going to commit behind me, and I didn't trust it with my back turned to him, you know? Can't keep an eye on him at all times. Yeah, no. Maybe Keanu will play in the Rey movie. That would maybe draw a lot more fans to go see the Rey movie. The Rey movie already has this sort of conversation around it that people are already upset with it. It's very Acolyte-esque, where fans are already coming in with low expectations, if not already hatred for the show, or movie, I should say, before it's even released. So giving Keanu Reeves a possibility to step in there and maybe help out wouldn't be the worst idea. Ooh, a live-action version of Ronin from Visions. The only problem is Visions is all Legends, so it wouldn't really help much. I thought Dawn of the Jedi was shelved for now. It's not shelved as much as it's not the next thing to come out, you know? Like, I'm sure James Mangold is still working on the script for that. Yeah. I wonder how many of those will get canceled again. That's the big issue now. With the Acolyte being canceled, there's an opportunity for everything to be canceled, which is not the best spot to be at, you know? Yeah, I know. Brandon Tran, what's up? Blade and the Matrix are very similar if you compare them. Vampires in the Matrix? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I agree that Keanu would be the perfect first Jedi. And he definitely the star of an actual Star Wars movie, not a Disney Plus show. Yeah, I do agree that he should be in a movie probably over a show. But I don't know. I think Star Wars needs Keanu. It would be a positive back to Star Wars. Yeah, I think honestly that's what they tried to do with the Acolyte, and it just didn't work. Usually when it comes to Star Wars, you don't have that big of names attached to the projects. When you look at the original trilogy, Alec Guinness was a big-time actor at the time, but he didn't really do science fiction ever. But every other person in that cast, from Harrison Ford to Carrie Fisher to Mark Hamill, all of them were nobodies. That was the whole gist of Star Wars. It was a bunch of nobodies creating a movie that was this massive hit. Fast forward to the prequel trilogy. Ewan McGregor did Trainspotting. That was about it. So, like, he did a few things that were kind of big, but not that big. He comes to Star Wars. You get Liam Neeson, who was pretty big at the time, but he's only in the first movie. You get Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson, who plays Mace Windu. He was big, but he's only a side character. You get Hayden Christensen, who's a nobody. You get Natalie Portman, who's a nobody. You get nobodies to do Star Wars. Even fast forward to the sequel trilogy. Adam Driver was a nobody. John Boyega, nobody. Daisy Ridley, nobody. So usually Star Wars gets a bunch of nobodies. But with the Acolyte, they tried to do the opposite. Get a huge cast that fans would kind of rally around. Li Jianxia from the hit show Squid Games that broke all the records on Netflix. You get Carrie-Anne Moss from The Matrix. Daphne Keane from the movie Logan. You get all these actors that are supposed to be recognizable faces, and it just didn't work the way they wanted it to. So getting a face like Keanu Reeves that Star Wars fans for years have been begging to see in Star Wars as a specific character, but as anybody really, would be a sort of boost for morale type of deal. Yeah. For sure. Darth Wicket? What the hell? A Sith Wookiee? Yeah. Yeah. Vincent says, I agree Keanu... Oh, I already read that. Sorry. What other actors or actresses would you personally love to see cast in a Star Wars universe, Mike? Ooh, interesting. Just as anybody? Just in Star Wars? That's interesting. I'd love to see. This is a little bit more difficult, but I'm a big Marvel guy, so like Robert Downey Jr. in Star Wars would be pretty damn cool. But more actually, I'd rather see Tom Hiddleston. And I know a lot of people want to see Tom Hiddleston as a young Palpatine. I'd rather just see Tom Hiddleston play anybody in Star Wars. He would make an incredible Sith Lord. That's for damn sure. He's just got that creepy look to him, especially when he plays Loki. I'd be down for that. Who else? Who's big in the acting world? Miles Teller. Miles Teller would be good in Star Wars. I don't know. It's really tough. I'm not good with actors, you know. It's hard to place actors and actresses, but I really don't know. And usually Star Wars pulls out actors and actresses from nowhere, and they end up being incredible, like a Mark Hamill, like a Carrie Fisher. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough one. I don't know, chat. What do you think? Any fan casts from the chat? Zap, what's up? Connor Smith. Connor said Matt Smith. That would be pretty good. Matt Smith is young Palpatine. Matt Smith is the guy from House of the Dragon, right? That'd be pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Brandon says, "What would Marvel's OG Blade actor Wesley Snipes be one of the coolest characters if he was in Star Wars?" It would be pretty cool, that's for sure. I don't know who he would play, though. You know? I agree, but it's still a top 10, 15 grossing film of all time. What is? I missed it. Not many people like or care for Rey's story. Rise of Skywalker barely broke $1 billion. So it's high risk with little reward. Yeah, it is. The Rey movie is a tough conversation to have because I do want to see a future past the sequel trilogy, but having Rey be that future is very tough to sort of have fans grasp onto because her character was clearly not met with much love and welcomeness from the Star Wars fandom. That's for sure. Millie Bobby Brown in Star Wars. Yes, that's a great one. Many fans think that she looks a lot like a young Carrie Fisher, so she could play maybe a young Leia, which would be cool, or she could just play a new character. It would be great. Yeah. You mentioned 2 Star Wars projects. The 2 Star Wars projects are TV shows. Animated show, which has not been greenlit yet, and 2 shows, prequel shows, doing storyboards right now. That would be pretty awesome. Prequel shows are interesting, though. That would be interesting. The problem with the Acolyte is they sidelined their real talent. Like Daphne Keane should have been a much bigger role. And she's wait, what? Oh, I get what you mean. Like Daphne Keane's character of Jackie should have been bigger in the show. Yeah, I mean, I guess she did have a pretty epic death, but yeah. We are also considered that Keanu Reeves has to be a Jedi. What if he would be like a new Han Solo type of character, smuggler/outlaw? He could be. He definitely could be. I think people just really want to see him as a Force wielder. Pretty damn cool. Yeah. In my opinion, Abeloth should be saved for the Rey movie. That would be probably a good move because you already have Thrawn kind of set up with this Mandoverse stuff. If you put in Abeloth with the Rey movie, it would be a big draw because she would be pretty badass wherever she is in the timeline. Yeah. Zombie Star Wars have a zombie planet. Well, they kind of already did some zombie stuff in the Ahsoka series with the bringing the stormtroopers back to life. And we've seen it with the Night Sisters too in the Clone Wars, bringing the other Night Sisters back to life. So, I mean, maybe there's more of that on the way. Maybe. She was also covered in alien makeup, so it was hard to... Yeah, obviously, her character was an alien. Indeed. Millie Bobby Brown is Rey's daughter. Well, she could play a Jedi at Rey's new Jedi Academy. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. Regarding Ahsoka Season 2, food for thought with a major teaser. What if I told you you may have already seen Abeloth in Ahsoka Season 1? Hint, hint. Well, yeah, that's been a pretty big theory going around, that Shin Hati could just be Abeloth. Not that she is specifically already Abeloth, but Abeloth could go into her body and kind of take her body over. Because if you look at a picture of Abeloth, let's look it up. She looks like Shin Hati. So let me put that up. Shin Hati. I mean, to an extent. So this is Abeloth, and this is Shin Hati. They say you got the same blonde hair, creepy eyes. If you notice, if you watch back Ahsoka, she rarely ever blinks. But she's got the same really white blondish hair, and she's got the same creepy look to her. I could definitely see Shin Hati being taken over by Abeloth. Why else set up that character and then just leave her there stranded? You know? It'd be pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Acolyte killed off all their good characters. Such a waste. Only Chimera is left. Well, they killed off a lot of their characters. Yor, Jeki, Soul. That is true. Carrie-Anne Moss, Indara. That is true. But that's kind of why it was this Acolyte show, because the Sith clearly won the show. They had to keep themselves a secret. Comes at a cost. Comes at a cost. Mike, what part of Thrawn's coffined witches are going to play in... Wait, what part are the Thrawn's coffined witches going to play in Ahsoka's war? Oh, resurrect the witches? Yeah. I don't know if those are dead witches in those coffins or if they're just sleeping, but either way, they're probably going to be woken up or resurrected. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Connor says, are you a Lord of the Rings fan? Rings of Power Season 2 drops on Thursday. Yeah. So I understand that the Rings of Power Season 1 had a very, very, very strong hatred towards it from like hardcore Tolkien fans. I am not a hardcore Tolkien fan. Easy for me to say. I do like the Lord of the Rings movies quite a bit and the Hobbit movies as well. I was a huge fan of the first season of Rings of Power. Visually, it looks amazing. The story I was invested in. I don't know how it like changes the lore of the Lord of the Rings. I don't know any of that, so it didn't affect me at all. I am very muchly looking forward to Season 2 of Rings of Power as well. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah. Very. There's been a rumor that Anakin in episode 4/5 was actually Abeloth in Ahsoka. What? That wouldn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? I loved Rings of Power. Really? You guys liked Rings of Power? Awesome. I felt like the majority of people didn't like it, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not really in that sort of portion of the Lord of the Rings fandom or anything. Is it a 3-episode drop? Really? Holy crap. That's crazy. Loved Rings of Power? Wow, what the heck? We like the Rings of Power? Awesome. I thought everybody hated it, and I didn't want to talk about it because I thought I was going to get shit on for not knowing anything about Lord of the Rings. I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, but I loved the show. B-Man, what's up, says, what if Ahsoka dies at the end of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? For 2 reasons, I don't think this is possible. 1, I don't think she's going to be in it. And 2, why would you kill off Ahsoka? Yeah. I look forward to winding down at evenings with Rings of Power Season 2 on Prime Video. I dislike decisions to release the first 3 on opening day tomorrow. Every episode should come out weekly. I agree with that. 3 episodes is crazy because aren't these seasons only like 9 episodes? Something like that? Crazy. The people who love Rings of Power. Should I start it? A guy who loves Rings of Power. Have you watched the Lord of the Rings anime? Oh yeah, the new anime trailer too. Lord of the Rings has got a bunch of content coming. I need to watch Rings of Power again, definitely. I gotta binge watch the first season again in the next 2 days because I don't remember most of it. Yeah. Okay. Whistle and Wizard says, I've got Tolkien tattoos and I disagree in history because of my lifelong obsession. And I love Rings of Power. Oh, and a degree in history because of my lifelong impression. And I love Rings of Power. Well, there you go. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe nobody hated it. I don't know. I don't know why Rings of Power, or my Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm not in tune with that fandom as much as I am with this one. Yeah. There you go. Abeloth can't be saved for the Rey movie because it wouldn't make sense for her to be freed and then just not do anything with her. That's true. That would be weird. But what if she's like, what if Ahsoka keeps her on Peridia? Think about it this way. Ahsoka season 2 is going to happen soon. Sooner rather than later. Hopefully before the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. What if Ahsoka and Sabine and Huge Wang, of course, they're still on Peridia. So what if they're just there to protect the whole universe from Abeloth? What if they're the ones the reason that they're still there is to protect the Star Wars galaxy from Abeloth? So Abeloth can't get to the other galaxy because she has no way to get there. And maybe that's why it takes her so long to get to Peridia. I mean, get to the known galaxy, and that's why she's not in it until the Rey movie. He said Huge Wang. No, I didn't. I said Hu Yang. What are you guys talking about? Who said Hu Wang? Hu Wang? Huge Wang? What? Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I believe that Warner Brothers started filming The Hunt for Gollum, according to Andy Serkis. Really? Dang, they're going all out on Lord of the Rings over there, as they should. I mean, it's a massive franchise. Yeah. All right, I'm going to end this poll because as it should be higher than this, but it's 88% of you do want Keanu Reeves in Star Wars. That math is not mathing, but that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Star Trek Academy began filming. I don't watch any Star Trek, so I could not tell you. I believe that the Lord of the Rings fans outraged for the show was a very similar one like the Acolyte, woke and breaks the lore from the same type of fans. Oh, okay. So it's an Acolyte situation. Good. Makes me like it even more. Rings of Power was great. I mean, I'm not big into the lore of Lord of the Rings, so I don't know if it broke any canon of Lord of the Rings. I don't know. But the fact that it woke, did you watch the show? Like, it's the same thing going on with the Acolyte here. Is it Hu Yang or Huge Wang? Pull it up. No, I already know which one it is. We already know which one it is, and it's Huge Wang. Different studios, though. They should just have Lord of the Rings. Just have one studio doing it. They have different studios doing it? That's what you're saying? Oh, I get you. Yeah, that's wrong. They should not be doing that. Did I watch Alien Romulus? No. I have not watched Alien Romulus. I don't really intend to go watch Alien Romulus either. Maybe it's like a rent on TV or something. Stream it, whatever. But, yeah. Acolyte didn't break canon, LOL? No, it did not. You are correct indeed with that one. Yeah, Amazon and Warner Brothers? Okay. That's weird. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Damn. Can we talk about how good The Boys show is? The Boys is really good. Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I have not watched season 4 at all yet. I have watched the first 3 seasons. They're all really good. Season 3 being the best in my personal opinion. But I have not watched the 4th season yet. So, yeah. Are you going to watch Gladiator 2, Mike, with Pedro Pascal? I might. I don't have plans to. When does that come out, actually? I could. You gonna freaking love it? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. All right, I do have to get on out of here, though, guys, because I got to go schedule this live stream for later on tonight for this Star Wars Outlaws playthrough. So come back later on tonight, maybe 7 p.m., maybe 8 p.m., so in about 3-4-ish hours. Come back and we'll do some Star Wars Outlaws playthrough, and then we'll give our own review on this game, all right? We're going to give our own review. Gladiator 2 is in November. Cool. All right, I'll check it out for sure. All right. I appreciate all you guys. Huge shout-outs to, well, first of all, Chris for giving his away, but Jordan and Darth Drafter for winning those giveaways. Please hit me up as soon as possible. We want to get this game out to you as soon as possible so that you can start playing it. I appreciate all you guys more than you will ever know. Huge shout-out to you guys. We made it to 76,000 subscribers. Absolutely awesome. And 76 members today. So I appreciate all of you so much more than you will ever know. Yeah, smash a freaking like on this stream if you like it. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up with the recommended feed of yours. Oh my God, Martha, what the hell? Hang on, we got to stick around for a second because Martha just sent in a $10 holla and didn't say anything. Martha, say something. I appreciate it, Martha. That's very, 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 very generous. Oh my God. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. I appreciate it quite a bit. Quite a bit. But I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys so much more than you will ever know. And may the Force be with you. Always. Oh yeah, what a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I could not explain to you guys how much this all means to me. So, with that being said, let's just take a second to appreciate how awesome you all are. Okay, that's long enough. Okay, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody. Thanks, Martha. I appreciate it.